All right, second method, elimination method, which in some ways can be a little more difficult. It's maybe not as quite as intuitive. So let's do two methods here, or sorry, two examples. One that's reasonably straightforward, and the other one which has a little bit more steps to it. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to do that same thing as I did before. Instead of saying subtract y, I'm going to go plus negative y. I just think that really helps. It really just sort of clears the air a little bit because everything's just added together. You don't have to worry about, if something is subtracted, then it's automatically a negative. Yeah, so just make it a negative and it's all good. All right, so as before, let's label the two. Let's give them a name. Okay, now you could call them Doris and Gertrude if you really wanted to, but this is quicker, just calling it A and B. All right, so here's the concept. You can actually add and subtract whole equations from each other. Okay, so if we were to add these two equations, essentially that gets added, and that gets added. Okay, so you're going to treat this as three columns. Okay, so I'm going to go, you know what am I going to do? I'm going to get equation A and I'm going to add it to equation B. Now, why did I decide to do that? Well, because this y is positive and this y is negative. So if I add these three columns together, when I add this column, that is going to vanish because y, whatever the heck y is, y plus negative y is 0. Okay, but the kicker with this is you really, really need to watch your setting out. You need to keep everything in columns. There's an X column, a Y column, and an answer column. Okay, so let's do that. So if I get 2x plus x, well, that's 3x. Y plus negative y is 0, and the equals are still there. 2 plus 10 is 12. All right. Now you can see where this is going. Okay. So what do I multiply by 3 to get 12? Oh, let's just clean it up a bit. Let's go, that's 3x equals 12. So x equals 4. Okay. Now at that point you could probably substitute back in. Yeah, that depends on what your teacher's after. Okay, I could substitute that just straight back into B, for instance, or A. If x is 4, well, we know that y's got to be 6, haven't we? Because 4 plus 6 is 10. But let's say, no, okay, we'll do that. We'll do that method, okay, because this is going to be the more complex one over here. So I'm going to call that C. Again, give that a label because you're telling the reader what you're doing now. So C gets, I'm going to substitute that back into B. So what have I got? I've got, everywhere I've got an X, I replace it with 4. So it's 2 times 4 plus negative Y equals 2. So that's 8 plus negative Y equals 2. So that's negative Y equals 2 plus negative 8. Okay, and then so that's Y equals, make sure I get this right now, Y equals 6. All right, does that work? So this is, I've got 4 and 6. Yep, type in 4 there, plus 6 is 10. Sweet. Okay, so at the end, like all of them, go XY equals 4, 6. Make sure you do that at the end. Okay, so the whole point is we are adding two sets of equations together so that one of the unknowns gets wiped out. Because at the moment you've got two equations, two unknowns, cool. Get rid of one, and you've got one equation, one unknown, and life is good. Okay, so let's look at this one over here. If they're asking you to do this one by elimination, you've got some toing and froing to do here. Again, same as before, let's give it a label. give it a name. And we are definitely going to keep them in their columns. Okay, I'm just going to do that. Okay. Keep things nice and neat there. Otherwise, you'll have no idea what's going on. Now, at the moment, if I just add these together, it's not really going to solve anything. If I added them together, I'd have 7x plus, what's that going to be, 4y plus 19. That doesn't sound very helpful. What if I subtracted? What if I subtracted that one from that one? Nope, that's not going to work. Nothing's going to get eliminated straight up. So I need to manipulate one of these so that I can eliminate it. Well, the easy way to go about that is, righto, I'm going to multiply all of this one here by 3 because I want to turn that into 3y. Right now, I don't care what happens to this one, that one, and that one. I'm worried about the y. I want the y's to vanish. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go 3 times a. I'm multiplying equation a by 3, and now I'm telling the reader what the heck I'm doing, and I've got these columns. Okay, so 3 times a, let's do that. All through here, multiplied by 3. So I've got 15x plus 3y, 3 8 to 24, goodo. Now, I've got a brand new equation, and I'm going to call it c. Now, have a look. I've got C and B. If I subtract this one from that one, three y is going to get cancelled with 3y, so the y's will be gone. All right, so this one has the higher numbers, like I've got 24 and 15 in the x's. I've got 2 in the x's there, 11 there. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go C subtract B. Again, you're telling the reader what's going on. So what have I got there? I've got 15 and I'm subtracting 2 x's. Okay, so I've got 13x there. 3y minus 3y, 0. Okay, I've got 24, subtract 11. Oh, that's 13. Oh my goodness, look at that. X is 1. Boom. Okay, call that D. I mean, quite frankly, you can do the whole alphabet here if you want. There's no limit to there. All right, so now I could substitute back in. Well, let's do that. I'm going to go D, substitute, that's the symbol for substitute, into B. All right, so I've got 2 times 1. This one here, 2 times 1 plus 3y equals 11. So I've got 2 plus 3y equals 11, 3y equals 9, y equals 3. And that is E. All right, does that make sense? Let's chuck it back into here. If I've got x of 1, okay, that's 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. Done. So as before, 1 and 3. Okay, so that's the harder one. I strongly suggest you actually get a highlighter and actually draw your columns in, just so you can keep it nice and neat. Think about your labels. Give them a label. Tell the reader what you're doing, one step at a time to step it through. Keep in mind too, the vast majority of things in the textbook are rigged so that there'll be nice neat answers. You're not going to get 6.814 as an answer. In real life you would, if you're doing this in real life, but stuff in the textbook's rigged, so you're going to get nice neat answers. Could be some negatives in there, but they'll be nice whole numbers. Okay, that's elimination.